I often have people come up to me and ask for tips on writing a book, writing a novel, writing anything. My very first bit of advice is just do it. Sit down, like I've said before, your first draft is yours, and you have permission to have a crappy first draft. Everybody thinks that their book has to be the greatest American novel from the start, and that's just not true. It's also not practicable, it's not realistic, and it would really be boring if you did it perfectly from the get-go. So, that being said, sit down, write it. Don't worry about the plot holes, because you're going to have some big enough to drive a caravan through. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't let that discourage you. Have an idea of how you want it all to wrap up. Don't leave it an open-ended blank check, because then it will just go and go and go and go and go. But also give yourself some room to find a different direction. Basically, keep in mind if you need a reference or a map or a plot or a schematic or anything for writing a story. It has a beginning, has a middle, has an end. The beginning is usually, oh boy. The ending is usually, oh, whew. The middle, 9 times out of 10 is, oh my God. I don't know how many times I've started off a story and I am really excited about it. I know exactly where I want to go. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. And usually about this point, I'm going, what the hell did I get myself into? That's okay. That's normal. A lot of people get to that point and really don't know what to do from there. Look at it this way. When you're going off on a cross-country journey, you know where you're starting from, obviously, and you know where you want to go, hopefully. Well, sometimes you got to stop and you have to ask yourself, am I going the right way? So what do? You pull over somewhere, a rest stop, the side of the road, a restaurant, whatever it takes for you to sit there and just look at things realistically and say, where is this going? It's the same with a book. When you get to that point where you don't know where to keep going, or if you don't know how to wrap it up, and you wonder, is this believable? Is this realistic? Is this what anybody's going to want to, deal with? Read it back to yourself. And when you do that, you got some parts that you're wondering if they fit. Read them out loud to yourself, because then you get an idea outside of the voice in your head of how they're going to sound. When you listen to yourself on a recording, your voice always sounds different. Points and inflections that you are really convinced you are making with your voice, because that's how it sounds inside your head, is not the same way that you're making it to somebody listening to you. It's the same thing with a book. If you're kind of confused about a spot, about a plot twist, about a plot, about an ending, about a cliffhanger, read it out loud. Because once you hear it in a different voice, then you get an idea of how to objectively make any and all necessary changes, idealistically. Sometimes you might need to read it to somebody and have them give you some feedback. Take Benjamin Franklin's advice to the Continental Congress when they were trying to come up with the Constitution. And he said, maybe if we don't trust in our own individual infallibilities quite so much, we can come up with something pretty good. Be willing to read it to a friend, to a writing group, your partner, your spouse, whoever, to get some constructive feedback. And if you have any questions, start with reading it to yourself. Then trust your gut. Have a great time, but the important thing is just